Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here on this last Wednesday in 2023.
You know, when I was a kid, George Orwell wrote a book called 1984.
Super futuristic.
Super futuristic. And now we're going into 2024. Amazing. Fast how it goes by. And if you're lost in an upset, you don't even realize it went by.
Or even if you're just thinking about the future, ruminating on the past. Today's episode is from Inept to Adept.
An adept, the dictionary definition is very skilled or proficient at something.
Yeah. And I don't know about you all, but for me, there have been times where I feel like I'm fumfering around or I'm just...
Fumfering. Does that word show up in the dictionary?
I don't know. I like that word, though. It's kind
I'm just checking.
Where I'm making typos if I'm typing, or I have you ever walked into your kitchen, for instance, to get something and then you...
What am I here for?
What am I here for? Where you're just distracted and you feel less capable than you really are.
Or you may have an old program in you that says, I'm not very good at this.
And this is the time of year when those programs get loud.
Activated.
Another year of ineptitude.
But if you're looking to find fault with you, you will, because there's always something you can pick on yourself about.
But if you're interested in being here, there's the potential and ever-ready possibility of instantaneous transformation where you experience your full capabilities and abilities to be you.
Or excellent, exactly as you are.
Ready for today's instruction, request, idea, suggestion?
Yes, I am.
Listen.
Oh, that.
Listening pulls you into this moment.
But I have to say that listening isn't thinking about or agreeing or disagreeing. Listening is actually allowing what's being said to come past your filter of do I agree or disagree, or do I know this already, and get into you as a got it, not as a think about it. And that is foreign to most people. Most people think about everything. And when you think about it, you compare what's being said to what you already know, and you fit it in with what you already know. So it's very different or difficult to learn anything new. So your life can show up newly if you listen. But if you think about everything, you'll keep it pretty much the same.
I think I'll slip in the three principles here.
Slip them in.
Because I imagine if you're listening to this show today, or if you pulled it out of the archives, this podcast.
We used to have a radio show.
Now it's morphed into podcast, using the correct vernacular here, the terminology. That if you're listening to this, you've listened to it before. Or
you've stopped listening to it before because you think you know what we're about to say.
And it's entirely possible that you have inadvertently morphed it into a change modality or a right-wrong, or it's suddenly slotted in to your earlier program. And here's what I mean. Most of us were raised in a good-bad system where it's good if we listen now and bad if we're not listening. So we may resist it when we find we're not listening, or we may not want to see that we're not listening, or we may judge it as if we are a lesser us. Oh, I'm upset and this is bad. Wrong, less. A better me would be listening.
It's all because, though. There's a because in that, too. And it's your parents' fault.
first principles, anything you resist, don't like, don't want, judge, sticks around and grows stronger.
It dominates your life, just like your parents.
So this,
if you resist them, they own you. You become like them because what you resist
oh my
persists.
God, we're back to our parents at the end of the year again. Yes.
Well, maybe you can start the new year right by realizing that your parents did what they did perfectly, just the way you do.
And then you discover there is no starting the new year wrong. It's starting as you are.
See, you can't be different than you are. That's very interesting. In this moment of your life, and actually, this is the second principle of instantaneous transformation. First was anything you resist, you become like. Second, you can only be exactly as you are in the current moment of your life. You may wish you were different, but that's you wishing you were different in the current moment of your life. You can only be exactly as you are. Your circumstances can only be exactly what they are, and your relationship status, every aspect of your life can only be exactly as it is in this moment. That's not good or bad. It just what is what is. You know, you hear people say it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say it as a complaint, but it is what it is. And if you get into it as it is, magic can happen. If you complain about it, disagree with it, wish it were different, well, then you get stuck where you are. And most of us have been stuck where we are, complaining about the same things over and over again, yet it doesn't shift. Transformation is an instantaneous shift in your experience of living. It's not something that you think about. It's when you allow what is to be, it allows you to be, not do, you know?
And when you are preoccupied or you're judging some aspect of yourself, that takes energy. And then whatever you're up to, there's only a part of you available.
Well, it's interesting. If you resist something like that you did, it's in the past already. So going back there to try to fix or complain to yourself that you did it doesn't change anything. It just ruins the current moment of your life because you're lost in a past moment trying to correct what's not correctable. That's wild. See, this is it. This moment that we're talking to you is where your life is taking place, not someday when you get your stuff together.
Let's take our first guest.
Oh, yes.
Stephanie, it's so nice to have you with us. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, guys. I'm zooming in from Rosengarten, which is a little south of Hamburg in Germany.
Welcome to being here. Nice to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. Nice being with you. So I do have a question. I'm an artist, and I generally work with painting and photography. And recently, I started looking into something in addition, which is called NFTs. That means non-fungible tokens. It's a type of digital art, so you can buy a digital artwork, and it gets like a digital stamp, so it really only this one exists. And there's a lot of things around this.
I didn't understand the last thing you said.
It's like it is digital, but it's also like an original, because you do something like putting a stamp on it digitally, and then no one else can have it.
Okay.
Around this, there's a lot of things you need to know to really work with it. Like you have to know the finance world of Bitcoin and the like, and you need to know things about the internet and things I'm not very familiar with. So I started doing courses and watching YouTube things. I really learned a lot. I was so excited about it because it feels like this is something I really like to do. And then a few weeks ago, and I don't really know what happened, is that all of a sudden I felt like I'm too old. I cannot do this, too much technology, I'm not familiar with it, I will never learn this. And then it's like the whole thing fell dead, which I was so excited about in the first place. And I just wonder if you have any insights on that, because I feel like I don't really want to give up on it, but I lost my excitement.
Well, I have a question if losing your excitement is code for something else. I'll give you an example. As you know, Shai and I put together and have been putting together for some time different chapters around the topic of fly fishing that illustrate our transformational approach to life. Yeah. And we already have 6 books. It's this project becomes the 7th book. And then there were times where I could say to myself, this is not what I say, but I'll just kind of amalgamate down. A better me would be interested in doing that right now. But there were times when I had no appetite for it. So I could, if I judge myself for not wanting to do that right now, thinking a better me would get the next thing out there, then I could say, oh, I'm too old for this. I have nothing else good to say. These chapters aren't that good anyhow. Why bother? I could have that conversation to justify not doing that which I do not want to do right now, but judge myself for thinking I should.
that rings true. Yes, that rings true, because I'm doing a lot of things at the moment. And at some point, I probably just felt like too much. Like, what do I really want to do? And then I didn't want to give up. But you're right. If I don't look at it like it's lost forever, but maybe I don't want to do it right now because there's other things they're more important to me at the moment. That makes sense.
But, as you're talking, it's too logical. It's too linear. It's too look. In this moment, is there a type of tea that you would like?
No.
Well, then you shouldn't be having tea right now.
But that's not because it's too much and there's too much. And there are other things that are more important right now. And I have too much on my plate.
It's just not something that
you want
in this moment.
Oh, but a better me would be a tea drinker.
That's right.
That is right. I feel like I started it and now I should get it done.
Well, maybe it's not ripe. Did you ever try to eat an unripe avocado?
Yeah.
Not very tasty.
So it wasn't fun.
Hard to peel. Chewy as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I really, here we are.
There's another thing. Mm-hmm. And that is your art is really quite amazing. You're a really good artist.
Thank you.
But you're locked in a mindset of more, better, and different. So whatever you're doing, somehow that's not enough. You have the idea that you need to be more. Now you're nodding, and this is going to be an audio release.
Yes, you're right.
Close to correct.
Yes, correct.
So
she's not only nodding, she's smiling because she can see that.
Right.
It's true. It's very true. And I thought I was over that because I really love what I do. It's not that I think my art is not good.
You'll never be over that, Stephanie. None of us will. You have a mind.
It's a little bit like swimming in an ocean and expecting that your skin will never, you should be over having your skin smell like salt. But you're swimming in an ocean. You are in an ocean of other artists. You're in an ocean of individuals, even in the town you live in, whether they're artists or not, where people are thinking they should be more, better, and different. It's really about bringing awareness to that mind we all have that drives us forward in order for us to survive or whatever we think our survival is dependent on. That's not a bad thing because here you are, you survived, your family line survived, but you can manage it so that you are here and have the experience of well-being rather than always being under tension.
See, the problem that I see in this, Stephanie, is rather than painting the current picture that you're painting, you're also thinking you should be doing work in other media, digital, as though that's better. It's not better. Look, when you get recognized as the brilliant artist that you are, then no matter what media you work in, your work will be sought after. But if you think that digital art is going to be more saleable than your paintings, well, then you'll forever be looking for something else rather than enjoying your productivity in the moment.
Yeah, that not only makes sense, it feels really good. I feel like you just took this burden off my shoulders to do more. And I really enjoy doing what I'm doing, actually. I love painting. And
yes, I understand that. But you see, you can't really love painting if you're thinking digital is going to be the thing.
That it's going to save you. It's the next thing. The in people do that.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember once, quite a while ago now, we had a person who was a photographer, and this person was doing digital photography before anybody else or at the beginnings of it. And now digital photography is everything. You know, you have an iPhone, you can take, super pictures that you couldn't even get with a decent camera years ago. So, thinking the next thing is where you need to be may not be where you need to be. Maybe you need to be where you are. See, the other thing is this: when you're thinking about other things, there's an underlying statement in it. And that is that you're not really that good in what you're doing. Because, have you ever tried to write something and you edit it at the same time?
Yeah, I tried.
That's right. You try to write, but it doesn't work very well because you're constantly editing it. Well, it's the same thing about there's a digital art that's coming and you should be on the forefront of it.
Yeah, now we were talking about it. I was wondering where it actually happened. And it happened because people on Instagram kept asking me if I would sell NFT. And I said, no. And at some point I was like, oh, maybe I should do this,
That's right. So other people's idea of what was important became more important than your experience of your art.
Well, the other thing is, it is entirely possible that NFTs, these tokens, these digital tokens, will take off. It's also entirely possible that it will be something that peters out, that it was a good idea once and is no longer a good idea. But either way it goes is not really relevant. Every day, almost every day, I get, at least several times a week, I get requests from people to have us advertise on this podcast, how to monetize it, make more money. And maybe it would get it out there more. Maybe someday I'll have a pull to do that. But it's not where my heart is at the moment. And it's so easy to get pulled into comparing yourself to what other people are doing as opposed to following your own heart. I mean, there may be, even way back when we had this as a radio show, and people were saying, oh, we want to advertise with you. It was like, can we truly honestly endorse that product because people listen to us. So do we really? And we just kept coming up with no, that they no. And so we keep being true to ourselves. And it may be that we have a lesser reach, but I feel good about every episode that goes out. And if I find another way to do it where we'll feel well in ourselves, we can do that. But the drive to do more, better, and different
To get ahead as though you're behind.
will always be with you. And you have the possibility of recognizing that that's like a runaway horse, putting a rein on it and go, whoa, Stephanie, what do I want to do today?
I love that. I love the whoa. That's awesome. Oh, thank you guys. That I feel so good now. I feel like, yeah, you're right. My heart is it. What you see behind me in my paintings, it really is. It's what I really, at my moment at least, it's. I feel like, yeah, I want to work more on this and not distract myself with whatever.
Well, here's the other thing. This distraction could be a good thing. I mean, not really good. That's not quite said right. It may be a solution to distract you from what you're doing because you've reached a place in what you're doing that you don't know how to go forward. So it's a little frightening. So get lost in something else, a diversionary event or project that takes you away from what needs to get done.
Yeah, that's true too. Because I started sending out portfolios to gallery, and I have a really large list. And I'm at the point of sending all this out, and I started doing it. But it's true that doing NFT or something else would be a diversion to really go for it. That is true.
Right.
But that saves you in a way because you can somewhere say, well, I really didn't get all of my portfolio out in a timely way. So you don't actually have to find out if what you have to offer is something people are looking for. It's a really great way to not have to really fully put yourself out there and be vulnerable.
Yeah, true. Thank you.
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Happy almost New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, here we go. It's time for our listener feedback spotlight, where we hear from one of our listeners about how transformation has impacted her life or his life.
If you want to learn more about our seminars, any of the upcoming virtual courses, visit transformationmadeeasy.com.
That is transformation made easy, easy.com.
I love it.
Thank you.
This is Cheryl in Hong Kong. I really loved joining the seminars and radio shows or podcasts that Ariel and Shia put together. Transformation over the years and today has just really makes a difference in my life. I'm aware of what I want, what the possibilities are, and I am able to connect with the wider community, not only my family, friends, but also the community here with Ariel and Shia.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shia's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Next year. Okay, next week.
Okay.
We are leading two Transformation in the New Year special events, and they will both be happening on Tuesday, January 2nd. Normally we do Monday nights, Living Made Easy, but since that's New Year's, we're moving both of our beginning Living Made Easy seminars to Tuesday. The theme is transformation in the new year. Will set us on a possibility for transformation rather than resolutions to be a better us.
We're doing two at two different times.
The first one is in the middle of the day, Eastern time, from 1:30 to 3:30, which in Central European time, or in Stephanie's time, is from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And that is translated into German for all of our European folks and Swiss and German folks who speak that language more easily than English. And then in the evening Eastern time from 7 to 9, we'll be doing a transformation in the New Year event. I guarantee they will be very different because there'll be very different moments in time, and you are invited.
And different people.
New Beginnings is our first of the year virtual seminar. It's Saturday and Sunday, the 6th and 7th. And then Shai and I are heading off to Costa Rica, and we're really looking forward to meeting with so many of you there for either 1 or 2 weeks. When we get back, our next virtual seminar,
The Power of Listening. It's a virtual seminar, March 2nd and 3rd.
Just to let you know, our first in-person seminars of the year will be held in Hamburg, Germany in April, the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, Freedom to Breathe, and then the Simplicity Weekend. You can find out all about all of our upcoming events and register on our website, transformationmadeeasy.com. Also, our 2024 calendars have been a big success with folks. If you would like to have one, the photos are really wonderful expressions of being here. They're all photos that I took. I'm very happy with how it came out this year. And our very talented friend who is a designer, Wendy, put it together. And actually, Stephanie helped us render all the photos so that they would come through the printing process with
the vibrant colors that
they
the camera
actually
captures.
are. So shout out to Stephanie and thank you so much. By the way, it's a great time to sign up for the newsletters that go out. They're very inspiring. We have had some really amazing blogs in the past months from people in our community that have been very touching. And so feel free to sign up for our newsletter as well.
Question. Is that an accurate statement there? Shouldn't that be 2025?
It's not. 2025 is not open. 2024 isn't open either. Where Costa Rica is now closed. It's just a legacy from the last template.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shall we take our next guest?
Please,
All
let's.
right. Miss Yolanda, welcome to being here. Please tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I'm zooming from New York City.
Yes, welcome.
Thank
What
you.
can we do for you, lovey?
So my question is, I am starting a new project with Wendy on launching my essential oils, and I'm not used to using my oils in a way where I'm going to describe them to people, probably a lot of people, and so I'm a little nervous. I don't know.
What do you do that you have essential oils?
I'm an acupuncturist and a massage therapist
Uh-huh.
for 20 years.
You know what's interesting, Yolanda? First of all, I believe you describe your oils all the time in a more intimate setting. I am one of your clients. I come and get acupuncture from you. In fact, after the recording of this, because we're pre-recording, I'm hoping we can have a moment because I want to set up my next appointment. That aside, you've tried different oils with me whilst you were perfecting them, but also as I was describing to you what I wanted support with, particularly some time ago, I injured my wrist. I don't particularly like certain kinds of scents. So for you to go, oh, well, this one smells this way and it takes care of this condition. This is what it addresses. It's very simple that way. Pretend you're talking to a person. And you're not nervous because of that. This whole thing is something new. And I find in creative projects, we often think we should have it done already and we should have all the words ready already.
You should have all the answers to the questions you haven't even asked.
Yes. Yes.
Well, look, what is worrying about this product launch save you from? Since no two things can occupy you at the same time.
Right. Doesn't save me from anything.
Well, I find for me that it does in a way. If I can be preoccupied about when will I get this book out, then I don't have to deal with my day-to-day emails, for instance, or I have to go to the store, or the floor needs vacuuming, or it tends to take, it's a placeholder for something.
Right. So I'm better off just staying in the moment.
But we're not saying that. See, I love how you just did that. You give yourself these directives to, quote, stay in the moment, as if that's a place.
I'll give you an example. Shaya and I had a client earlier today, and as we were preparing to meet with her, we started getting disoriented and our communications were missing. And the directive was not, we should get in the moment. It was, look at this phenomena. There was something happening that was different. And it was interesting. Now, of course, when we spoke with her, that information was vital to what she needed to talk about. But if we'd required ourselves to be centered all the time, we would have hidden that from her. We wouldn't have been a service to her. The idea that you have to be somehow different than you are
to be okay
is what most people are leading into this year. We're looking back and going, didn't do enough, wasn't enough. I really should be more.
And then you make resolutions to be different in the new year. And of course, you break your word with yourself. And pretty soon you come back to the conclusion that you're not very able to keep your word. And it's all the same, and it'll always be that way.
And then it's 2025.
And you've wasted another year complaining about yourself to yourself.
And by the way, you're nodding, but again, this is, I know we can see each other, but listeners can't see you.
Yes.
I think you forgot one thing. You didn't start this essential oils project, getting it out to people to make more money or because you needed to expand your business. You started it because you have a passion for essential oils and you had a desire to share it with people. And similar to Stephanie, different medium, she has a passion for painting and she'd love to get it out there for more people. And then at some point you start picking on yourself for how far you've gotten.
Right.
I have really found that when I hit a place of not being sure what to do next, if I really get engaged in something else, including the other day, I was really working on the preface of this new book project and it wasn't coming. And I said, okay, forget this. And I did other things. And then I actually laid down to take a break and with my cat, and boom, the beginning of the preface came fully written without me doing anything. Maybe you need to give yourself the possibility to be you, Yolanda, with a full, complete life, not whittled down to Yolanda project.
Essential oil.
Okay. Yes, fair enough.
I think there's one other thing that requires addressing here, and that is all of our tendency to compare ourselves to other people. Because, Stephanie has ideas of what would be her being a successful artist in comparison to other artists. There's always people who write books we could compare ourselves to.
And it doesn't matter what the media you're working in is, because if you find fault with the way you're doing it, you'll constantly find fault with you, no matter how good the media is. So, it's about being kind to yourself, allowing yourself to be okay the way you are, rather than try to get to a better place. There is no better place. You show up wherever you go. And now if you can start to have some compassion for yourself, then everything works out brilliantly. But if you're complaining to you about how you're doing your life, that you're not enough, well, you're never enough. And I'll tell you, more money doesn't make you enough either.
You're
That's
nodding
true.
again. There you go.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does not.
I also think, when you say, getting lost in what if doesn't save you from anything, but sometimes it does. You have 2 kids. Rearing kids sometimes can be a stressor. So it's like,
What's this sometimes?
okay, kids are a stressor. How's that? Even my cat's a stressor. She got us up 2-3 times last night.
No, she didn't get us
Got
up.
me up 2 or 3 times
That's
last
better.
night. And,
She leaves me alone.
I got her up. I got up. I fed her, and then she decided that I should feed her. So what she does is she stomps up and down my body while I'm sleeping. It's very fun. She's very subtle and sinuous most of the time. But at 4 a.m, 5 a.m, she's really, and then I wasn't responsive. So she walked around behind my head and then she started patting my face. She's very funny. I figure I could throw her off the bed, discourage it, pretend I'm asleep.
But you like it.
I do. I like her.
You like her giving you attention.
Yes, I do. So she's fun. So
That's fun.
that doesn't mean she's not a stressor in the sleep department. So
Thank you, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
yeah, it's a treat to be with you today, Yolanda. And thank you for joining us on our last episode of 2023.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Love
Love
you
you
too,
right
dear.
back.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. Whew. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can leave a review on your favorite podcast app. You don't have to, but you are feel free to if you want. And if you feel to, thanks in advance. Next year's podcast.
The first podcast of the year, A Miracle in Progress.
By the way, spoiler alert, that's you, A Miracle in Progress. We'll be back next year.
So come on back.
And don't miss being here.